Hello everyone, I am Param. I have scored 98 in SST 2 years ago, and in this video I am going to be telling you how to present your paper to get full marks. This will very well be our last video for this batch, so be sure to check it out till the end. Okay, so this video will be divided into 3 parts. Basic general tips which you will find on every channel. Then we will go to subject specific tips for presentation, and then we will go to advanced tips you will definitely not find on other channels. So let's start. First of all, first tip for general, always revise MCQs multiple times before you move on, because SST is something in which you do not need a lot of time to revise. All you need to do is just look at the information and then try to think of something related to it. Simple as that. So please revise your MCQs before you move on, because गलतियां होने का scope होता है इसमें. Second tip is, if you do not know an answer, let's say you do not know an answer to a question, then don't leave it blank. कुछ ना कुछ तो लिख ही देना, because the examiner is instructed to give you full marks or give you marks wherever possible. Therefore, if you write something for them, at least maybe it's a 3-mark question, they will give you 2 marks or 1 mark or 3 marks as well. Depends on them. So never leave a question blank. Just write any info that is related to the topic if you do not know the answer. Now let's come on to the tip on how to write point-wise or how to write in a paragraph form. Okay, so let's say there is a 3-mark question in front of you. If you know at least 3 points or 4 points, write 4 points, write 5 points, and write it in a point-wise format, so it's better and more pleasing for the examiner to look at. It creates a pattern in their mind. But if you only know 2 points, then what I'll suggest you to do is write it in a paragraph form, because then you don't have to give the examiner points. Instead, you just give them an examiner the paragraph in which they need to extract the info themselves. Again, if you at least know 3 points, please write in points. However, if there is a necessity that you don't, then go for the paragraph format. So 3 markers, if 3, 4, 5 points, write them point wise. If 2 points only, write them in a paragraph form. Whenever attaching the map, always attach the map between the pages. Do not attach it in the last page or the first page, because it might fall out. So between the pages, and while writing an answer, you need to provide the examiner unnecessary information. What I mean by unnecessary information is, I do not mean to say that write irrelevant information. Write information that is relevant to the topic of the question, but it should be unnecessary in the context of the answer. Let's say, for example, I tell you how is X related to B. So first you define X, then you define B, and then you write how it relates. X and B की definition is unnecessary information, but providing it guarantees you full marks, because the examiner in most cases thinks that, okay, this person already knows the answer from the X and B itself. So even if your reason of relation is wrong, they might just give you 1 or 2 marks. Now let's come on to our subject specific tips on the second part of the video. First, let's start with history. History, always put emphasis on the timeline, on the dates. Even if you do not remember a specific date like 6th September 1921, please just write something like in the earlier 20th century or in the early 19th century. What this does is give the perspective to the examiner that you know the date, time, and the event already before you actually describe the event. Okay? Always remember history, past, dates. Write the date wherever possible. Other than that, there could be a very specific structure of your history answers which can go with cause, event, and effect. So cause is, this event was caused due to ... and effect is, as a result of this event ... So in history, you can use this format to write your answers and gain full marks. Cause, event, effect. Now, I won't suggest you that every single answer should be in this order. In fact, you can reverse this order as well. Effect, then event, then cause. You can use both of these structures in your answers to highlight them better, to write them better, and to gain full marks. Now let's come on to civics. Civics is not an opinion based subject. Do not write your opinion in any answer. Please stick to the NCERT facts. Stick to the information in the NCERT. Do not write your own opinion. And in geography hai wo. So please try to write regions like the Northern Plains or the Deccan Plateau. Always try to write some kind of region in an answer, because it is geography. The marks that you will get is due to the geography. Okay, now let's move on to the advanced tips. When your reading time starts, what you need to do is always try to form points in the reading time itself, so that when you actually come on to the answer, there's not much thinking that you need to do, but just writing it in a better form, and you actually have a lot of hints to write. So you won't have to think for the first time. Even if reading time में सारे question ना पढ़ पाओ, but getting an idea of every single question, getting an idea to how to write every single question is worth way more than reading the other 3 questions that you left. Do you understand me? Okay. Second tip is always try to use your washroom as a strategic break. Now I know some schools mein washroom jana allowed nahi hota, but there is no harm in asking your invigilator. So whenever you are done with your paper and you want to revise, go to the washroom, take 2 minutes off, try to recharge yourself, then come back and revise with a fresh mind. This is a tip that has actually worked for a lot of people, and I have seen them comment ki yaar, this tip works genuinely. So you can try this for actually a different section as well, that if you want to write a different section, you can first go to the washroom, try to recharge, try to write that section with a fresh mind, or you can do the same thing to revise as well. Now let's talk about the first impression bias of the examiner. The examiner won't take a lot of time to check your copies, and I think you already know that. So always try to exploit his or her impression. In your answer, first of all, write the points which you're very confident in. The most confident points should be written first in all answers. So what this does is it makes an impression on the examiner that you already know all the points, and so by reading the first point itself, they will skip the others and just take your answer. You can also use this to jumble the questions which you find weak and actually attempt the questions which are strong for you. But I will tell you, if you really need to do this, then only do it. Otherwise, there's no need. So what you need to do is, first of all, that's a section B at my pass, and it has 6 questions. So out of the 6 questions, you are somewhat confident in 3, 4 and very confident in 2. So write the 2 you are very confident in first and last. And the middle ones should be kept the ones which you're somewhat confident in. Again, only do this if you absolutely need to. But what this will do is, the examiner will read your first question of this section, the examiner will read your last section of this question. However, in the middle they will just skim. So what this does is provide the examiner proof that you actually know good answers, you can write good answers, and you deserve full marks. And finally, let's talk about how the examiner's brain itself provides you the info that you need to write. Our brains are programmed to actually look for patterns. So if they see a pattern in your answer, they will try to provide the information themselves. Not like write on the paper, but they will just fill the gaps that your answer actually has if it has a definite structure. So make your answer neat, your answer structured, make it point wise or paragraph. Always underline keywords. Always try to keep the point concise and underline the best keywords. And even if your answer lacks something after this, they will actually fill it themselves because they can see all the other things. The pattern is already in their mind of what your answer could be. So they will not check the other things. They will just skim your answer. Please, this is a very important thing. Keep your presentation top notch. Keep it neat, and the best you can do, please do it. Alright, so best of luck for your SST exam, and this video comes to an end with a sad note because I'm not going to be uploading more study guides for your batch right now, because in both Hindi you can just refer to the English presentation and strategy of gap days, and in maths you already have 10 days, so I don't really need to make a new strategy. You can just go to my 500 out of 500 Valley series, and it has maths presentation as well. So from the series that we have been doing from December, this finally comes to an end. It has 14 parts. For right now I will upload one more part which is just general. It's not any academic advice. However, it may be something that you need to hear because I needed to hear this as well when I was ending my 10th class. Chalo, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.